Welcome back to the Troubleshooting Life podcast. I'm your host, Jay Peters, my co-host, Craig Poston, where we talk about various topics, sharing our experiences on life and finances.
What's up, man?
What is going on, man?
I don't know much, man. Yeah,
It's been a minute, man.
yeah. I think it's always gonna be a minute, man. Maybe we can do a lot of catching up during this holiday. We get our break. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't feel like it's a break, man. It's never a break. Like, you ever feel that? Like, you get like a weekend off because, we got like basic 9-to-5 jobs, right? When you get a weekend, but it ain't a weekend. Man, you got like a lot of stuff to do to kind of catch up on. And, especially if you got a family, you got a lot of stuff for them to do, or they have stuff for you to do. It's more like it. But.
You're right about that too. But yeah, I'm definitely, it's starting. It feels like it's starting to catch up. One of my tasks was to clean up my office. My office looks better now. Another task, as soon as my parts come in, work on my BMW, which I like to do. And then it just slowly, I think it's also a little procrastination on my part too with spending money, because I like, okay, do I need to spend this money? But then it's like, okay, it won't get done unless I spend the money. So like, you have like this internal fight, because I bought a aquarium, didn't need it, but I wanted to replace the one that I took out of here. So, and my wife was willing to allow it to sit in our dining room, which is actually pretty cool. And so most of the money was spent kind of on the stand, because it's a nice looking stand where I could repurpose it if I decide not to do the aquarium thing anymore. Like have my saltwater aquarium up anymore. I could repurpose that stand for something else. It can be a server where you can put like your alcohol on it in the little dining room. Anything, right? Yeah. So it actually looks that good. So that's where most of the money was spent. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't, to other people, it's probably not a lot of money, but for the thing that it is, they go like, oh, you spending, I think I spent like close to $400. And I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not a lot of money, but like for what it is, and then it doesn't do anything besides sit there, and it's a hobby.
If it's not somehow increasing the value of something, like my personal value of it, like monetary value, whatever it is, like if it's not making me money, then I don't want to spend money on it. Yeah.
Then it's another thing, like, okay, with a BMW, parts can get expensive. Then you're like, all right, do I need to buy it? But then in reality, if you like to have nice drivability where it's like, so BMWs are known to drive smooth. So like, okay, so I need to replace these parts on the suspension. Okay, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars, whatever. But then you're like, that's where you have that fight, and you're like, all right, you know what? If I was to take it to BMW, it'd cost me way more than that. So let me take care of it now, and it's cheaper. So, I kind of reasoned with myself, and, so it's stuff like that. And then literally making time. That's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man, dude, like I'm a high procrastinator. Like, I don't know, dude, if no one thinks that, dude, they don't know me, bro. like if you just know me from work, where I'm like just doing a lot of stuff, man, outside of work, I'm lazy as hell, and I just procrastinate everything, man. And like, maybe not everything, like things that are important to me, of course I don't procrastinate, but like even sometimes then, dude, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I just don't.
Yeah, that's that mental downtime. That's what it is. That's why you procrastinate outside of work, because you're a high performer during work. So when you're off from work, you're trying to like, get that, that relaxation back. And I think that's one of the reasons why we fall, on our task at home. You have to come back.
Like you're at one extreme at some point, and then the other extreme, just to kind of like balance it out.
Yeah.
Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How's the house coming along though?
So I actually closed on it, which is
that's what's up.
Pretty cool. I learned the lesson from this closing. When it doesn't matter if you're good to go on your side, you still got to wait on the seller.
Oh yeah.
The seller did not have the appliances in the house. I think we talked about this once before. Yeah. So they waited to the last minute to throw these appliances in there and get them installed. And so they took up the whole closing. Honestly, we probably could have closed like at least a week sooner or something like that. Or honestly, probably 2 weeks. The bank had told me already, though, like, oh, you're good to go. You gave us all the stuff, and all we did was switch properties, and it was above value. So it was like, you're good. So I think they asked me maybe a couple of questions. That was it. And we're good. They were like, we can close early if you like. I was like, well, let me see if they want to close. And that was the for existing home. Now I know, make sure appliances are in the home. before you close, or even get
Yeah.
close to closing. So like start, have your realtor ping the seller. Hey, put it in there, put it in there.
Oh, even then, like, or like repairs and stuff that you request. So, like, for one of the ones that I got earlier this year, one of the repairs that like I requested, like after I got the inspection, was the roof. Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the roof isn't too much of a repair because, like, in home insurance will cover it, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, depending, right? And like, they had, USAA because they were a veteran, so like they were easy to work with, and that was something like that got done, I think, within like a timely manner. I should say, like, I didn't have to ping them too much about it because they really wanted to sell the house because they were selling that to buy another place.
Yeah.
So like they were kind of in a time gap too. So they were good on that. But like, yeah, no, dude, any place, if it's like in the contract that certain things will be there, you need to make sure like both you and the agent needs to make sure that is so. So I remember one time I had a buddy, they were selling their house and they had like a storage thing in their garage, right? And they were planning to take that with them, but in the contract it said that everything will be there.
Yeah.
Right. So they didn't realize that they couldn't take it out when they sold it. So granted, that was like on their agent as well for not informing them that was the case. So yeah, man, you got to be careful on like who you're talking to. So
yeah, well, it was my loan officer that called it. She was like, she's like, did they put those appliances in there yet? And I was like, I don't think so. And I was like, let me check with them. And then so it was actually pretty cool to understand I had people on my side. They were actually like looking. And so
I agree.
Yeah, and which you didn't want them to like kind of escape without doing this because they actually put brand new appliances in there. So which was actually cool. Yeah.
Didn't go to a scratch and dent store.
I'm so glad they didn't because I was like after they were the holdup, and a lot of times if you're pulling from a bank, sometimes the buyer can be the holdup, right? But that was not the case this time. It was like completely the seller. But everything worked out. I closed actually on the day we actually was supposed to close. So we didn't close early. And then since it landed on a Friday, had to wait for Monday for everything to get finalized. Yeah. And then I think my agent picked up the keys like on a Tuesday and gave it to my sister, and she's sending me the extra keys. I told her keep one and send me the extras. And that's what she did. Yeah.
Now, how does it work like when you're closing and you're not in the state? Like, did you have to give your sister like a proxy or?
Nope. So you basically do it this kind of like what they did during COVID, right? If you wanted to refinance your house or close on a house or whatever, they'll send somebody out to your house. So you find a notary. Yeah. You said a notary will come to your house so they can watch you sign the documents. They sign off as a notary, scan everything back into the bank. And to the because we actually it was a law firm that was also a part of this, and so everybody got what they needed from the notary, and so that's how it works. So actually, it was actually really convenient, really easy, and I want to say, it was actually pretty good. It went pretty smooth, and that was actually awesome. So learning how to make sure I have my things in order on my side, and then making sure the seller has their things in order, I think it'd been even smoother. So it was a good experience because I already knew about the fact that you can have a notary come out.
Yeah, I knew about that too because I knew like that, like you said, during COVID and stuff, they were allowing that as an option. For a lot of people. Mobile notaries, they get paid, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, man. Especially here. Yeah. I feel like this is a land of homes here, land of houses. That's what I call it because there's so many neighborhoods around here. I didn't every time you turn around and find it's a new neighborhood. I didn't know this place was here. Like,
yeah, man. You see, like, man, I remember I was passing by. I was like driving down one of the streets, and like literally, like there was 3 signs next to each other from different builders that just say, "Keep going forward, you'll see this new development. Keep going forward, you'll see this new development." I was like, how many more new developments are there? There's not enough land for all this damn new development. You just have to start building upwards instead of out.
It keeps spreading out. Remember, I think they were talking about moving towards Austin, so they just gonna keep spreading out.
Yeah, well, because there's supposed to be a loop that because San Antonio and Austin, they're supposed to kind of be like Fort Worth and Dallas.
Yeah,
where they're like that. That's gonna be huge metro.
Yeah, that's gonna be big. Yeah,
that is huge, man. Because like, just think about it, like San Antonio like feels like a small town, but dude, there's so many people here, and Austin is like it's not a big city, but like it's popping like a big city. So yeah, you combine the two. But the thing is, like the I don't know how it is between like Fort Worth and Dallas, but like the climate of people here in San Antonio versus like the climate of people in Austin are like night and day, man. It's
Yeah,
yin and
yeah.
yang on like certain beliefs and stuff like that. So that'd be an interesting thing.
Yeah, I mean, because I lived there, it didn't. To me, it doesn't seem that big of a difference. I mean, you got Dallas itself, the city, but then you
Yeah,
got all the different suburbs around
yeah,
it.
yeah,
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 so I mean, I guess the closer you get into the city, yeah, you're gonna have that crazy city life. Yeah, and you go further out to Fort Worth, and now you have more of your suburbs,
yeah,
renewal, and yeah, it's a little bit more relaxed, but it works. So you just pick. I think that's why I always like Dallas. It's because you can pick how you want to live there.
yeah. Your
Because
lifestyle.
it was because it was just so many different things there. I thought was
Yeah.
cool.
I will say like Dallas is pretty cool because like you said, you get that city life, and then you don't have to go too far, but like you can even get to like farm life
Yeah,
out there. Like if you go like a little bit north of Dallas, but like it was just like the convenience of having like a best of both worlds, if that's what you like into, or like a good way to kind of like save to like your family's kind of diverse on like what they want. Like they can still stay in like a relatively same area, but have like a total different lifestyle over there and your own lifestyle right here.
yeah, yeah. All right, man. We can talk about our topic of the week.
Yes.
Uh, I guess, well, since we hadn't talked in a while, that's why we're doing a lot of talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's the best way to do it, man. You got to be
yeah,
sporadic, man.
yeah,
It feels
yeah,
like a better flow.
yeah. But like this week, our topic is you are the lotto, right? Yes. Obviously we've had one of those giant sized Powerballs where it was like what, $1 billion,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, it was
it was
crazy,
like
right?
great, man.
Yeah, yeah. So like, understanding what you're the lotto, what you can do right now, who you are, right? So me, I always say to myself, I'm the lotto. So if instead of me going out here trying to, get this 1 out of 200 million, chance of
Yeah.
winning the lotto, I become the lotto. Because it's some things we actually can do now before we even win the lotto. I mean, it just takes planning, and it's not a more of a point and shoot. Because yeah, if you have a lot of capital, you can do more pointing and shooting. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying that. Let's go. Versus like, okay, well, I need to save X amount of dollars, or I need to make plans to do this first before I can do that. And some of the things we want to do, we probably can do it ahead of time before we even win a lotto or anything of the sort, or any windfall, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how the idea came about when I was writing this. Is I'd never get all like, let me see if I'm lucky. Well, I'm lucky
Yeah.
every day because I'm making
Yeah.
plans and preparation to do better.
Yeah. No, I agree. And like, I think if you look at the probability of a person just being here, right? Like, so I don't think people realize this, but the probability of like a person being born is already like astronomical. I think it's like 1 in some odd trillion that a person can be born, right? Because there's a lot of factors into doing that, or into the creation of a person,
Yeah.
right? Of course, other than doing the action,
Yeah.
pretty easy. But like the probability of someone being conceived, and then it actually growing properly and it coming out and everything like that, dude, that the probability of that is just incredibly high, or sorry, incredibly low. And I think people kind of take that for granted. Like some people, they kind of wake up and they feel like they're a mistake,
Yeah.
some sort, or like what they're doing isn't what they want to do. And in my opinion, that's like one of the worst ways to live. And I'm not saying there's not other bad ways to live, but it's like the worst feeling when you're waking up and you're not performing to what you feel like you're supposed to, and you're not living the life that you wanted, right? And and if you really think about it, like the mentality of you are the lotto, like you can determine how your fate is.
Yeah.
You can determine how you feel. I truly believe that, like, certain emotions are choices. Like you can choose to be happy. You can, and the reason why I say it is that, like, even if something bad happens to you, you can react in a certain way that doesn't ruin your entire like day, your entire life, right? You can choose to continue to pick up everything and keep going. Like, say if you get in an accident, like, yeah, you could trip, right? You could be like, oh man, I got into an accident. Now I gotta try to figure out how to get a new car, try to figure out, maybe if I'm in a hospital, how am I going to pay these hospital bills? But the thing is, like accidents happen, right? That's just kind of the name of the game, right? You have insurance for a reason, like health insurance, car insurance, whatever it is, to kind of take care of it. So you kind of thinking about that time or continuously like going about that time isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
Right. So like one of the things like I was kind of happy about like recently, like, so we went on a trip recently, and unfortunately, my girlfriend, she forgot her license at home. Right. And by the time we were to get back home and go back to the airport, we would have missed the flight. So, but I wasn't tripping. And like most people, you would think like, I was like, how could you be that way? Like these tickets cost a lot. Now we can't go on the trip, stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
But like in my, like, dude, I took it good. I was like, it's okay. You know, mistakes happen. We'll just go home and I'll find like other flights. Right. It's not like a huge deal. Like you don't have to beat yourself up about it, because like that could be discouraging, because that then either ruins the experience of the vacation or of the trip. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can choose how you react.
Yeah.
Right. And there's like other external things that kind of lead to it. But, you know, if you planned well, like you said, if you start doing the things that kind of increase your chances for like better success, then you can choose how you to react to certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good analogy there about being in an accident. Cause yeah, that is a probability that can happen. And definitely when we have more vehicles on the road, or if you're in a city, you definitely have more vehicles on the road where you have this percentage of a chance of getting in an accident or a collision. Cause I know like they like to call it a collision because they're like, oh, it's never an accident. It just happened. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then here in Texas, what I do is I'll sit, say the light turns green, I'll sit for a second and look in the intersection before I take off, because I've seen people just fly through. Right. Yeah, like fly through to catch that last light, a little bit of the light. But I'm like, it's already red and you're flying through. But what if, you know, the other person already pulled out and now you just, you know, created a collision. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think.
A lot here, man.
Yeah, but I don't think, you know, people ever think about that. You actually, your time to go can happen at any time. Right? That probability is actually pretty high. We just don't look at it. You know, we don't think about it because it didn't happen. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So living your life to your fullest or whatever you are, you know, because like I said, you are the lotto. All right. You have that chance of changing your fate, your whatever. Right. And then the other thing, like maybe people don't feel like that they're the lotto, you know, maybe they feel like they feel like they're missing out on something, right?
FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO, yeah. So like, okay, if I don't try to get in this lotto, or I don't try to do this, then I you know, I'm losing my chances, you know?
Yeah. If I don't get in this get rich quick scheme, if I don't start trading options, if I don't start getting into real estate, if I don't start all these other things, at least from an economic standpoint, if I don't start doing these things, then I'm missing out, right? Yeah. Or if I don't go on these trips, then I won't have as good of a life as these other people that are posting about it on Insta or on TikTok or whatever it is.
Yeah. So by, you know, actually not really falling for that trap, actually, you know, like I said, since you're the lotto, right? Won't you make it? Just think about it. Well, what can we do, right? What can we do at this time? What kind of plans can we make? Just like right now, we want to go to Japan. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. So the first thing, right? You know, already kick it out of your mind. It's gonna be expensive, right? All right, whatever. All right, yeah, it's gonna be expensive. Yeah. All right. So just make the plans as if you have the money right now, and then just you know get to work. Okay. Where will we stay? Okay. What flights will we choose? You know,
what's the best time of the year to go?
Yeah. What's the best time of the year to go? How much walking cash do I need? You know, things like that. And then
what's the conversion? Like, what can I do now?
Yep. Yeah. So then you'll know, okay, if I was to go, okay, which credit card would I use? Okay, I'm going to use this credit card because, this one has the right amount of limit. So if something happens, I'm covered or whatever.
What's accepted in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that conversion rate, that's what you worry about on some of your credit cards. And you're like, hey, they charge a fee. Some don't charge a fee, but some do charge a fee for that conversion. You know,
some companies like Amex, I know, isn't like popular outside the States.
Yeah.
Or like, especially for like smaller businesses.
Yeah.
So like, maybe they don't accept that. So, you know, you got to make sure you have like backups and stuff. And like you said, like conversion rates can depend on like what your card is and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Because one thing I found out, and I know we're talking about Japan, but back when I was in Germany, found out that everybody don't take a credit card,
Yeah.
or if they do take a credit card, like you said, it's MasterCard, Visa.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is actually having the euro on you, so you can go do what you got to do, and understanding that you still lose money in the process, because if you're in another country that doesn't do euro, they do Swiss francs or whatever, right? So and you're losing money. Yeah. So like that was that's what I learned from being overseas, and I'm gonna try to take some of that experience that I learned and apply it to planning this trip. And like I said, if I had a Lotto, I probably would do a point and shoot, right? Like, okay, we're going to this resort and we're going on this day. Like you just hurry up and do it.
Yeah.
But then you don't know what mistakes you're making in that process. So, that's the reason why I say, you still will be able to do some things without being a Lotto, and without winning the Lotto. Sorry, because you won the Lotto. But yeah, so like when you think about this, right? Yeah, you may not make the $1 billion or whatever right away, but there is a chance that you could make the $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you think about it, like, okay, in which way how would I make this money? What would I have to do? Like we were talking about earlier, we were talking about companies, creating a company, or buying a company, existing company, raising the value of that company, and then finding a buyer for that company, and then sell it to them. And that again, we were talking about that earlier, how ways that you can make money where you're not relying on just this big windfall to come into your life.
Yeah. And I think like another thing is to kind of like become the Lotto, or make you feel like you are the Lotto, is that increasing your probabilities, right, of certain opportunities. Right? So like if everyone's ever played like basketball and stuff, right, you don't necessarily have to be the fastest, you don't necessarily have to be like the best jump shot or whatever it is, but you do have to be in that spot to catch the ball so that you can actually take advantage of that opportunity to shoot it, right, or pass it on, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You have to be in that spot. So like just think about like how can you put yourself in that spot to be in a better probability of better opportunities, right? So if that's like working on your education, right? So for me, like I think the best thing to invest in is yourself, right, in your education. But don't just do it like willy-nilly. Don't just get like a degree just to get a degree. Don't just get a piece of paper just to get a piece of paper. Like really do research. Like, man, we live in the information era. You can look up like certain jobs, certain entrepreneurial ideas, whatever it is, and see what in an economic standpoint is profitable, right? And in real reality, everything is profitable, right? I'm sure there's products you've seen or services you've seen, like you can make money off of that. Well, yeah, you can make money off of everything, right? Everything has like a certain dollar value or can produce value. So yeah, and I think like if more people thought, like just in general, just thought more about themselves and where they want to go and what they want to do, instead of focusing on what everyone else is doing and what everyone else wants to do, like just sit, like just take some time, like get off your phone, just like literally lay in bed and just think like, hey, what do I want in life?
Yeah.
What do I have to do to get there in life? Like what can increase my chances of getting there? And then, start doing your research, right? Like I said, we live in an information era. You can learn to do almost everything. And with like stuff like YouTube and stuff like that, you can do it for free. Like you can learn for free without even having to spend a dime.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, some people, they don't give as much value to things that are free, or like you can pay for a course as well. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's more than likely even cheaper than going to college, and you could probably make an exponential amount of money just buying a course online to teach you how to, I don't know, wholesale real estate or trade options or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like a way to make yourself feel like you're in the Lotto is increasing your probability of certain opportunities to take advantage of.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Yeah, they're definitely investing into yourself, and just like how you said, like now it's so much easier to grab information. I mean, I'm always trying to learn something new. I think at one point we were talking about swimming, right? I was like,
Oh yeah.
trying to learn ways to increase like swimming, how I can swim further, or learn how to swim in open water, or all these different things.
It's
Man,
cold as hell, man.
yeah. Well, I mean, you wear a wetsuit so you can, hold some heat in. but yeah, if you and yeah, sometimes say we gain these new skills. Some companies or whatever want you to validate it, right, with a certificate, right, or a certification. And so, but you learn the skill already. So if you go take the test, just check the block for them or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it increase your probability. Another thing, so your current job, right, increasing your knowledge about your current job, and especially if your job or whatever you do, right, whatever your occupation is, or if it's a business, if you increase your knowledge in how to make yourself better, how to move up the ladder, or how to be the the high performer, or whatever it needs, right? As long as you don't have a ceiling above you that caps you from doing something, then those are all ways that are increasing your value, which also brings in more money. And then you learn how to, and another thing, learning where to put that money, right? Learning where to invest that money. And if you do all those things, then you're already becoming a Lotto, because you're doing more than some other people are doing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's things that I think about, and that's why I don't fall into that trap about, let me go apply to go spend some money at the Lotto or whatever, right? And it is okay sometimes. Okay, it's fine. I was like, okay, well, let me go just see how it's out, because I did it before. I lived in North Carolina. They have you can buy tickets there too in the Lotto, and I've done it, and just to see what it's like. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I want to say I may have done it here in Texas. I don't do it much, obviously, right? So yeah. So that's one of the things that I think about. But another thing is, okay, what can you accomplish with your current income, right? Like, what can you do right now? What plans can you make? And obviously having good money habits with your current income also puts you in that position, because like I was saying earlier, not everyone does this. Not everyone is planning. Not everyone wants to invest in property. And I always think of this: a lot of the good things that help you out in life, they aren't comfortable. Learning a new skill, or pushing yourself harder in the gym, or
I was like, man, working out, I promise you, never feels comfortable.
Yeah,
like, I don't feel good like trying to bench press, right?
Yeah.
Like, that shit hurts all the time. But I know that if I keep putting that stress on my body, that I can now push more.
Yeah.
I can now get stronger. I can now look a little bit better in my personal opinion of aesthetics.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I wish more people, like, one of my things that I always kind of allude to is the gym.
Yeah.
Right. Like if someone pushed themselves in the gym, like anyone that goes to the gym understands that it's not a comfortable situation. Like, it doesn't feel relaxing. Like, I'm not getting a massage in the gym. Right. Like, I'm clanging and banging. I'm hitting the deadlifts, hitting the squats, hitting the bench. I'm like moving weights, and like it hurts. Like, it literally, like, the lactic acid buildup just like physically hurts.
Yeah.
But then when they see that in like regular life, when it's at work or when they're working on themselves, like, they feel a little bit of pain and they decide to just run away from it. Right. So like we were talking about earlier, like sleep deprivation from, just joining the military. Like, like if we would have learned that earlier, like we would have probably produced a little bit more, because we know that it is uncomfortable to
push yourself.
To push yourself, and one, like sleep, right?
Yeah.
Like, even though you know that you're tired and stuff, but you also have a certain deadline to meet.
Yeah.
Right. And if you knew that more, or if you realized that tension or that pressure would then grow you later on. And I think it's like with working out, like, people are willing to do that because no one can really sell like looking good or looking at a certain aesthetic without going through some pain. Yeah. Right? But then people don't see that in life, because it's not physically painful. Like, they don't feel the physical pain. Like, it's just like all that mental hardening that you have to kind of do yourself.
Yeah. No, and it's not an overnight process, especially if you didn't come from people teaching you certain things. Like, if you had somebody teaching you how to do these certain maneuvers in the gym, or teach you how to save your money and how to invest your money. All these things, they're habits that have to be built over time. I mean, me and my sister were talking, and she told me I changed, but she said you didn't change overnight. So like everything took time, and it came from like being in different cultures, going overseas, going to different states. You learn from different people that you're around, and you just take from this whole pot of knowledge and you apply it. But yeah, if you could switch in a day, I don't know how the mind or body would react, right? If you could do every change, just change all of a sudden. So like everything takes time, so to see what you can accomplish with, with your current income, then that, like I said, will be all on you. And once you figure out that, okay, you are the Lotto, right? You can take what you have right now, apply it strategically to a plan of yours, and then go do X, Y, and Z. I can go on this trip, or I can go purchase a new property, or I could start a development property, any of these things. But it requires you to change certain things about yourself and actually apply a plan strategically. And all of it all ends up adding into that factor of, okay, now I'm going to win. Now I'm learning,
Yeah. Yeah, because you can use your current income to invest in yourself, right? Invest in your education to then make more income, if that's what you want to do, right? Or you can use your income to look into doing something else, like we said, real estate, right? And like we've talked about like budgeting and money stuff before, and some people get that misconception that when we say budget, we say save all your money and don't spend your money.
Yeah.
No, we're not saying that. We're saying that you can spend your money. Just we recommend spending it on assets rather than liabilities.
Yeah.
Right. Like use it for something that'll help you grow, whether that's economically, mentally, emotionally, educational, whatever it is. Right. But, that all starts with you. Right.
Yeah.
So one thing I heard is that, the things around you, they don't really change. Like there's certain systems, processes, and stuff like that. They haven't changed for however many years. Right. It's longer than we've probably been alive just by ourselves. Right.
Yeah.
But a way to change your circumstance is for you to change.
Yeah.
Right. Whether that's your mentality, and like Greg said, it's not overnight. Right. But it takes small, simple steps to kind of just start. Right.
Yeah.
To kind of get you on a different track to improve yourself.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So now we'll move down to our frugal and cheap.
Show broke it.
All right. This week, for frugal and cheap, we got buying generic brand items. Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, and I was like, hey, I mean, I think if you, again, use thought into why are you doing this, then it could be frugal. But if you're just like buying it just to buy it, it's the first thing that you see, and you're like, oh, it's cheaper. And because I look at it, if it's only a few cents cheaper, I'm like, so where's my value at, right? I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna just spend the extra cents, And I can see if it's a few dollars, then okay, now we're saving some money, because if you think over time you're saving money. But then like if it's just a few cents, and you're like, okay, well, I know what this product tastes like, or I know how to use this product or whatever, right? And then I go buy this cheap. It's like, what's the point? Yeah, you might as well just go with the better one,
or just not buy it, or like
that's an option too.
Because like if you really like pension that much, you're like, man, what do you even need it for? Yeah. And so like what I started doing, instead of looking at just the price, I look at the nutrition facts. Yeah. Right. So like here in San Antonio, we got HEB, and they got like certain products that are actually pretty, in my opinion, pretty good, at least by looking at the nutrition facts. Right. So like one of the things I enjoy is like Greek yogurt and stuff, and they got a honey flavored Greek yogurt. But like I was looking at like some of the name brands. Like, so for me, when I look at yogurt, I look at like the protein content mostly versus like the amount of sugar. Because if it's just like full of sugar, then it's just not healthy for you in general. So why would you even pay for that? Right? You're paying for crap at that point. So like, and I was looking at it, and I was like, dude, HEB's got like that specific product and brand was on par. Like it was really good. So and I don't know what it was like in difference of price, but at that point I wasn't even looking at price. I was just looking at what it would benefit me and my body to have that. Right. And you can do that with marketing brands, name brands, whatever it is. Especially if it's food, you can look at the nutrition facts, because it's not necessarily what it costs, but it's what it's worth. Yeah. Right. And what that means is that, it could cost like $2 more maybe, but it's also healthier for you in the long run. Yeah. Right? So you're not putting crap in your body and you're just producing crap. It's the same with, with education, with anything else. It's not what it costs, it's what it's worth. So if I pay for something like a degree, then I should get at least that or more out of it.
Yeah, but that also comes down to that strategic planning right there. Yeah, where, okay, I'm picking this degree, right? And I need to know that coming out of school, normally you would make what I spent on this degree. All right, but you know, you spent, what is that? You get a art degree, right? And then you spent close to $100K for it, and will you make $100K of making art, right? Maybe,
Sure.
maybe not. You know, but you need to know like what you can do, and you know, when it comes to that.
And are you willing to do it?
Yeah, you will. Yeah. So yeah. So honestly, with this one right here, I'd say frugal. If you're, like I said, depends on what you're trying to do. That's frugal. But if it's just like you're just trying to save the buck and not how you're saying it, where you go and actually look at nutritional value, how does this bring me value in my life?
Yeah.
Then you're being cheap if you're not doing all that.
Yeah. I will say, I will keep going bargain brand for my detergents because I don't give a shit. I'm just going to wear the clothes and I'm going to toss it back into the dirty laundry. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's like not the softest, if it's not that cottonelle stuff. I will get.
Well, I guess that is too. Yeah. I guess, well, again, that's still, what value does it bring to you? If it don't bring you that much value, then okay. Then, all right, well, then I'm going to buy it or not buy it, you know, whatever, however you want to do it, you know. So
I will still use it. I'm not too cheap to not buy it and just like wash my clothes with just water. Like, not just put it.
Yeah, it could, you know, wash it, do water, you know, just do spray wash with the sprayer outside. Hang it up.
Good.
Yeah. You know, you can, you know, rewear your underwear, flip them inside out, you know.
Oh, no. Dude, I'll go commando before I do that. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because, you know, like, you're in the military, man. Like, you're on the field.
You're
Out in the field. You're like, your baby wipes and re-wearing underwear, man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't strategically plan.
Yeah, man. All right. We're getting out of here. What, you want to sign us off?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you for listening to the Troubleshooting Life podcast. This is Jay and Craig signing off. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week.